True is in a great mood. He got twins on the way. He's so excited. He's always wanted twins. So he's going to get his girl back. He drives 5 hours to go see her, which is crazy because he couldn't even stand to be alone with her for 5 minutes. He's going to drive 5 hours to see her.
So they told me she was pregnant. She said she didn't want me to have nothing to do with the kids. It kind of hurt it.
Before he gets to her house, he wants to go to the grocery store to buy a bunch of stuff so he can cook for his woman, the mother of his twins. So he's at the grocery store, and I love the scene because he was like, oh my God, eggs got so expensive, food got so expensive. Why are there so many options of cheese? Like in prison, we only had one, and we didn't even know what kind of cheese it was or where it came from. And there's so many different kinds of cheese, 2%, 1%, mozzarella, skim, cheddar. You guys know what I'm trying to say. And he's buying all these things. He's like, oh my God, there's different types of eggs. Like, what the hell is the difference? So he asks a woman, and he goes, what kind of eggs should I get? By the way, I didn't know he was so tall. He like towered over everybody at the grocery store. And the woman's like, oh my God, you can just get these eggs. They look good. And he's like, okay, thank you, ma'am. And then he goes to the self-checkout. He's like, how the hell does this thing work? What is this? Where's the person who's supposed to scan all my groceries? And he puts the thing on the machine, bleep, bleep, bleep. And then he has to pay. He's like, how do I work this thing? Like everything is new. I love watching people acclimate into like the real world after they haven't been in it in a while. I'd love to see like a whole ass show about that. But anyway, so he finally gets his groceries. And he heads over to Shante's house. He knocks at the door. She opens and she's like, oh, hell no. No, I don't want you here. Like, why are you here? And he's like, can I come in? Like, do you want me to go? I'm already here. And she lets him in. Now, I find it very, very surprising because I really thought True was going to be an F-boy and he was completely going to mentally, emotionally ruin Shante and just like leave her to the curb. I find it very interesting. I feel like Shante, when she told him like, I'm pregnant with twins and I don't want you involved. Like you can do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm raising these kids on my own. And I think that shook him up. Reverse psychology 101, you guys. Reverse psychology works. Okay, if you want a man, just tell him you don't want him and see what happens. So like I said, he goes to her house and she seems very unimpressed. She's like, ugh, what are you doing here? And this makes him want her more. He wants to make things work. He apologizes to her. He's like, I'm so sorry for the way I ended things.
So I apologize for the breakup, for everything how we left off. I don't blame you for feeling however way you feel.
And she's like, ugh, whatever, I don't care. And he says, I want to be involved in our twins' lives and I want to try to make things work between us. And she goes, ugh, okay, well, show me, don't tell me.
Everybody was like, oh, he using you, are you here for that? Like, so what, are you back to do that same thing? To use me or what?
What? I ain't got to use you. I'm on that.
I don't know, something about Shante, like she seems so much more confident. I think pregnancy looks great on her. She looks so cute. I love her hair and I just love her little sass. Like I'm living for it.
During this breakup, I was just trying to see what it was like. Dating other women, you know, I'm 13 years, so I want to have fun.
Okay, so he's in the kitchen. He's cooking up a storm. And tell me why Shante is in the living room with the flower that he got her. I think he got it for her. And she is, oh my God, she's plucking the petals out one by one, literally saying, he loves me not, he loves me not. Girl, oh my God, I busted out laughing because of course she would do that. Oh my God, of course she would. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm rooting for them. I think they are an adorable couple together and I really wish them well. Now let's move on to Troy and Letitia and Karen. So he asks her, Mom, how are you feeling? Why do you keep asking me how I'm feeling? Maybe because you've been taking garden gummies all day long and laughing and crying and laughing and crying and your mood has been all over the place. And even though I got a good laugh at how high Karen was and how ridiculous she was, I felt for Troy because I feel like that's his entire childhood, right? She's probably been way worse than this. And that's such an unstable, chaotic environment for a child to grow up in. Well, everybody's going to go see Jana, the ex-wife or ex-girlfriend, and the daughter. And so, I don't know why, but Soraya is mad at him because apparently Jana called him and then he answered the phone call in a different room. And she's like, you're being shady. I can't trust you. Whenever it comes with your ex-girlfriend, I can't trust you. Like, I feel like you just do whatever she says. She'll say jump and you'll say how high. And she's pissy. So she and Troy get into a fight. And then Troy just can't handle this. And as they're arguing, Karen is poking her head right there and she's watching all of this go down. I found it so hilarious.
I could go and be with somebody else who can actually do something for me. Tired of dealing with drama. He out of jail, he can do whatever he wants.
Hey, girl, what is the problem?
I just want to see my daughter and that's it.
And Zoraya's like, you know what, Troy? Go by yourself. I don't even want to go with you.
I'm not going to Buffalo. Leave me alone. Pack your and get out.
And then he's like, oh my God, I can't do this. And so he walks away, leaves the apartment or the house.
I'm gonna keep walking.
Troy! Where the is this boy at?
And he just goes walking 6 miles. The cameramen have to walk and follow him for 6 miles. Okay. And at first I was like, okay, well, maybe that's a good thing because he realized that he needed the space to cool off before he said anything that he would regret. But walking 6 miles is crazy. He should have just waited outside, done a few deep breathing exercises, and walked back in. I felt bad for the producers. I felt bad for the cameramen. Okay. They were probably telling Troy, dude, we're tired. Okay. We're not prepared for this kind of walking. Can you please stop walking? Can you please just stop? We're out of breath. Oh my God. Please go talk to Zoraya. And he's like, I do talk to her all the time. I tell her how I feel all the time.
My parents always told me, you don't chase no man, but I don't want people thinking that I'm the cause of him not going to go reunite with his daughter.
Now, back at Zoraya's house, she's talking to Jana on the phone. And apparently Jana tells Karen that Zoraya has been cheating on Troy with another man.
I need to talk to her because some boy been up in here and him and her having an affair. And
She being messy like I'm gonna I swear to God.
Now, again, I find it really funny that Zoraya is so upset and so annoyed with this whole entire situation with Troy and his mom when she was the one who invited the mom. Okay? You knew that Troy didn't have a good relationship with her. You knew that they hadn't talked in forever, and you still went behind his back and then invited her and had her stay over. Like, you caused this. All right. Let's talk about Arthur and Hope. Oh, whoa. Things got real dark in this episode. So Arthur makes Hope breakfast to kind of make up for spending so much time with his mom the other night. And initially, I thought she was crazy and super possessive because I just couldn't believe she was that upset at him for spending time with his mother. Like, that's a little too much. So to keep him home more, she took him to the fabric store, because his dream is to be a fashion designer. And so she wants to support his dreams. She wants to buy him some fabric so that he can start making some clothes. Because remember, she bought him a sewing machine before. Now in the store, her sister calls her. And Arthur tries to say something. She shushes him. He gets triggered. He doesn't like that. And they have like a little tiff, but it's really nothing. It's really nothing. But Hope does mention that he's just been acting really off these days. Like ever since he got out, he's not as talkative. He shuts down. He's just really hard to talk to. It's another day. Arthur is trying to build some furniture. Hope is breathing down his neck. Just kidding. And he confronts her about something that he found while he was looking for stuff in the closet. And it was a picture of Hope with another guy. And she's like, what were we doing in the picture? And he was like, oh, nothing. You guys were just together. And she was like, oh, okay. Do you want me to get rid of it? And he's like, no, it's okay. And then he stops talking. And Hope is feeling so frustrated because he's not talking. Again, he seems so closed off. He just won't say anything. And it's taking everything in her to try to get him to open up.
He doesn't say what he's thinking. He doesn't say how he feels. It's been very challenging just finding our communication, finding a way to talk and having him open up to me.
And he's like, I just don't want to talk. I just don't want to talk about it. I'm not ready. Like, I'm just dealing with a lot right now mentally. And she tells him, you cannot keep this bottled up because you are going to explode. It is not healthy for you.
You bury all that stuff, it's just going to boil up. It's going to come out in a way that you didn't even know.
And then in the interview portion, Arthur talks a little bit about his time in prison and how insanely traumatic it was and how much it messed up with his head.
There's a lot of stuff that can break you down emotionally, psychologically, and you'll never be the same.
And I don't know what the hell happened to him. Like, oh my God, but he just seems like a broken shell of a person. I felt so bad for him. I even felt so bad for making fun of his Squid Game tattoo. Oh my God, I really do. I take that back. I mean, I don't take it back. It is a dumb tattoo, but no, really though, I did feel so bad for him in this episode. He seems to have a little bit of a panic attack. He walks outside to get some air. he said something about how he felt like everyone around him were demons. And so I'm like, is he a little schizophrenic? I don't know. He was like, everybody seems like they're demons except for a few good people.
Workers are looking like demons and stuff like that. Like everybody look like demons, you know what I'm saying, except for a few people.
And Hope walks out and she's like, are you okay? And he just kind of stares at her like a very blank stare. Again, he seems like he's not there. He's like disassociating or something. And she's like, what is going on? And he's like, just staring at, I don't know. I really don't know. And she tries to hug him and he cannot hug her. Like, it's so, I've never seen something like it. And she's kind of like forcing herself. Actually, at first I thought she was forcing herself onto him, like to hug her back. But eventually I realized that she probably was trying to protect him, like trying to grab onto him so that he doesn't do anything to himself, because she probably felt like he was being a danger to himself at the time. He was definitely having some sort of breakdown. He was not in a good place at all. Like, it was really heartbreaking to watch. It was really uncomfortable to watch. He said to her, I love you. And then Hope is panicking. So she's calling his mother on speaker and he tells his mother that he loves her. And it was all very, very scary. My heart broke so much for him. I'm sure a lot of people watching this were heartbroken for him. The producers seemed like they were all trying to get some kind of help for him. And whew, damn, that was crazy. I got really choked up.
You know, he plays it very well that nothing's bothering him. But after witnessing this breakdown, he's actually not okay inside.
I don't know what he went through in prison that messed him up so much. It's just devastating to know that he's back in prison right now. This is alleged, but apparently, and I don't know for sure, but I got this information from, according to Amber and like some random Instagram accounts, he and Hope got into a fight involving a pew-pew and it accidentally went off. And so he went back into jail. Also, in one of Amber's videos, Arthur does say that he was out a lot. He barely stayed home with Amber. And that's why she was probably like always looking for him on the show. And they just didn't show that part.
It's okay. Just breathe. Take a deep breath. Look. Take a deep breath.
Very, very, very sad. And I truly hope that he's getting the help that he needs.
It's really hard being alone, especially in a new state that I've literally only been to like once.
Bianca checks into her brand new Arizona apartment and starts making a welcome home sign for Daniel. And as soon as she wrote the W of welcome, I literally said out loud at the same exact time that she said it, that is the ugliest effing W that I have ever seen. Oh my God. I laughed even harder when she said it at the same time.
That's the ugliest W I've ever seen in my life. This is my first time living out of the state of Florida. It's a really big change, but I feel more independent.
Anyway, Daniel's super nervous still to come out of prison. He doesn't know how he's going to readjust. But again, I don't know if 4 years is long enough. I feel like not a lot changes in 4 years. Oh, well, the president does. Are you guys registered to vote? Make sure you are. Make sure you vote this year. Daniel emphasizes how he doesn't want to go to the halfway house, how he wants to parole at her new apartment that she got for them. She's getting ready to meet Daniel's parents for the first time in real life, and she's still turned off by the comment that the dad made over FaceTime asking if she was mentally unstable. But the way I heard it was he was clearly joking. Like, he was probably like, hey, my son is an inmate. Are you mentally stable enough to deal with his ass? Like, that's how I heard it, but she didn't. So she drives down to Arizona. She finally meets up with his parents, and the dad apologizes for the joke. He confirms that it was a joke, and she's like, oh, okay. We learned that Daniel's dad was also an alcoholic. He went to rehab and now he's sober. And so they're like, are you ready to support Daniel and his sobriety? And she's like, oh yeah, definitely. But like, I'm still gonna drink because, you know, I don't have the drinking problem, but I'll make sure that he doesn't drink. And they're like, oh, okay, well, how often are you gonna drink? Like every day. I like to have a glass of wine or 2 or 3 with my dinner every night. Can you not drink? Is that an option? No, that's not an option. How messed up is that? Honestly, I was really turned off by that. She even learned right then and there that the mom lost a son, a middle son, to addiction 2 years ago. He OD'd on fentanyl, and she really doesn't want to lose another one. And drinking alcohol for him is just going to open all the doors for, the other drugs. And she starts crying. She's like, I really don't want to lose another son. And I had to support my husband right here with his sobriety. And I want to do my very best to support Daniel in his sobriety. And she's sobbing. She's crying. Bianca goes, oh my God, I didn't mean to make you cry.
If I lose another son, it's going to be really hard. I don't want anything to happen to him or you know? So
I feel so bad. I didn't mean to make you
I know, no need to make me cry. It's hard to
Also, let us not forget that Bianca almost died getting into a car with a drunk driver. Her friend was drunk. She was driving. And she drove them into an airport. And she almost died. Like, bitch, are you dumb?
I feel Bianca. I think she's a good person, but she just has no clue with addiction and what can go.
She goes, I feel like I have a very good understanding of addiction.
I understand addiction. I really think I do.
No, you don't. Because if you did, you would know not to drink around him. That's how you support them. Yes, it is hard. Is it fair? No, it's not. It's not fun. Okay, especially if you're a drinker, but that's how you support someone you love. Whew. Okay. Julian is very stressed still about his finances. And he finally asks her, how soon do you think you'll get a job? Because I am barely getting by. Like, I've paid for this, I've paid for that, I've spent this much money.
I've had to scrape together to pay for all kinds of stuff, credit card bills, like all kinds of Custody family law attorneys require a initial starting retainer of $5,000. So I spent like too much.
She's like, oh my God, Julian, well, thank you so much for spending all this money on me. Oh, I bow to you. I bow to you. Thank you. Why do you always throw that in my face? Like, I know you spend a lot of money. Do you know how hard it is going to be for me to get a job?
You know how hard it is to get a job when you're a felon? Feels like a lot of pressure. And like, as the day goes on, I'm overwhelmed more and more.
And he's like, yes, I know, sweetie, but like, can you try? She's very confused because with his ex-wife, they lived a very luxurious, expensive lifestyle. They went on all these vacations and trips. They lived in a big house in an expensive town. His kids went to private school. And now that he's with her, he can barely scrape by. Like, he can't come up with enough money to pay for her lawyer. Like, what is going on?
I feel like Julian's hiding something from me, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of it.
I'm not a person who's let you down.
Not yet.
Let's end this recap with Letitia. She has another lawyer. Actually, I keep forgetting that Ben is not an actual lawyer. He's a paralegal. So lawyer Arthur is like, so that guy did lie to you. I hope you didn't pay him. Oh, you did? Well, you're shit out of luck because I don't know why you paid an inmate turned paralegal to write out legal drafts that are complete bogus.
I don't think that a paralegal who used to be an inmate should be out here writing briefs, giving them the guys to get their hopes up.
But yeah, Keith has 8 months, okay? And he's not going to get out early, so you just got to deal with it. So she calls Keith and she lets him know that he's not getting out anytime soon. She's heartbroken. He's heartbroken. She goes home and then she finds out that she's getting kicked out of her house. The owners of that house have not paid their mortgage in like a year. And so they're selling the house.
And they haven't paid
no mortgage.
And that's crazy.
They haven't been.
So the house is being sold.
Yeah.
Letitia has to get all her shit and her kids out of that house in a month. I mean, when it rains, it pours. Am I right?
It's just like I'm getting beat from every angle.
That is insane.
And that is it for the Love After Lockup episode 37 recap. Life After Lockup is coming up soon. I think October something. I have it down in my calendar. I don't have my calendar with me, but it is coming up. And do you know who is in that season? Oh my God, I'm so excited for Melissa and Louis to come back. But I'm also kind of excited for Justine and Montana Mills to come back because I heard a little story as I was scrolling on Instagram. Remember, they just had a baby. They already have 72 kids, but they had a 73rd kid, Manhattan Barbie. And the rumor is that she's pregnant again. It is so funny to me. Like, I will never understand how there are just like two kinds of people in the world. There's a type of people who think way too much into if they're ready to have kids, if they're financially prepared to have kids. Are they mentally, emotionally like well enough to have kids and raise them? How are they going to do this and that? And like they think too much before having a kid. And then there are those people who don't even think at all. They just bloop. Oh, I'm pregnant. Guess I'm going to be a mom. Oh, I'm pregnant again. Guess I'm going to have the kid again. Like, it's so crazy how vastly different these two kinds of people are. But yeah, that's it for my recap. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.